What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Alarm Fantasy Football. I'm Howard Bender. Andrew Cooper here by my side. Sorry, we're a little late today, but we were both kind of lamenting. All right, fine. We were crying a little bit. We were crying a little bit before everything kind of started because yesterday we were like, hey, look at this. Browns plus 350 to win that division. Maybe I'll sprinkle a little something on there, that kind of was looking good. What? Deshaun Watson's out for the season.
Can't undo those bets. That's the funny thing about them, dude. You go and check I went to check out. So I put that. You remember I put the $100 on Rashi Rice. I went to check out my cash out thing, and they were like, "You can cash out right now for like 35 cents if you want." Damn you, CJ Stroud.
Oh boy, what is going on, everybody? Welcome in. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. Please do us a favor. Obviously, hit that like button if you think Coop is like super handsome, and he is. And please subscribe to us here. We're building our following. We got so much going on over at Fantasy Alarm. I mean, there's just, and I'm going to be here on this page basically all day because from here I go to the Better Sports Betting Show. Then I go to Sirius XM, but then I come right back for Lisa Ann Does Fantasy Better tonight. She's back from her trip, and so we got to get all that going. And I'm going to be rolling out info about what Fantasy Alarm is doing, what we're doing, season-long DFS betting, everything like that throughout the day. So we appreciate you guys joining us and subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. But all right, Coop. So we actually, we were talking truthfully about like the whole Cleveland Browns situation. And let's address that. It's the big news of the day right now. On shoulder surgery for Deshaun Watson, out for the remainder of the season. Then Mary Kay Cabot, who is literally one of 3 beat writers that I follow, right? And that's it. 3, because everybody else is trash. Shout out to Mary Kay Cabot. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is getting the start, Coop. Over PJ Walker. I mean, I guess I don't love it, but I guess I don't really hate it. Walker really hasn't shown much, and maybe they've seen Dorian Thompson working, with the twos and just kind of improving on certain aspects that they said to him, hey, listen, this is what we saw. This is what you need to fix at the NFL level, baby.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it boils down to who you are, whether you're not excited about and what kind of fantasy games you play or whatnot. Like if you're a Browns fan, then I feel like you got to be excited, right? You got to be excited that this kid who flashed in preseason and he's getting the shot and they like him. Like you got to be thinking in the back of your mind, like, okay, PJ Walker, he's fine, but he's probably not going to be the guy like that just takes over and he's the guy forever because he's had a lot of opportunities to do that with other teams and they didn't think he was the guy. You know what I mean?
There's no ceiling with him.
Exactly.
There's a low ceiling with him.
Low ceiling, right. Exactly. And then, of course, there's the dynasty gamers and the campus to Canton guys, and they get all excited about DTR as well, and the Superflex guys as well. And then there's the normal fans of, of the 31 other fans that just want to watch good football games, or the people in fantasy football regular land that will just want to have somebody that can throw it to reliably to Amari Cooper. Though we all want PJ Walker, right? Because we just want it to be look like normal football and have a guy that we know can deliver the football at least at a league average or slightly below average level. So personally, I was in the group rooting for PJ Walker for that reason. But I do get the excitement about the young unknown guy. Who knows, right? But I just know that Amari Cooper finally was looking good, getting the ball delivered to him on deep balls. Even when he's only catching 4 or 5, he's getting 100 yards, and
right.
now that's gone, completely rug pulled. So,
so you have no faith in DTR whatsoever. You're like, I am out on the Browns.
I gotta be right now. I gotta be, and again, it's like it's just we've seen John Pemba said it last episode. I asked him, "Well, you're the QB whisperer. What's your thought?" He's like, "What do you want me to tell you?" We've seen the equivalent of one real game, and he goes, he looked terrible. And then, sure, in the preseason, he was dunking on guys that were getting released before the season started. But what does that even mean? So it's just a complete wild card,
It's definitely a wild card. So, yeah, listen, there are guys out there. It's It's bleak. It's definitely bleak. I actually had somebody ask me if they should drop either. I think it was like Pickett. Who was it? It was just in the Discord. I was like, you got to be kidding me here. Yeah. Yeah. Are you? Do I drop either Levis, Pickett, or Minshew for DTR in this 2QB league?
Just pack it up, dude. Just pack the whole team up, brother. Those are your quarterbacks. Dude, this guy better have like McCaffrey and Kamara. Like he better have gone 0 QB. But I mean, the thing is, there are people in those spots. I mean, I drafted Watson in the Scott Fish Bowl. And what if you drafted? There were people that could have drafted 3 QBs and drafted Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, and Anthony Richardson as their QB. So I guess I see how you could end up there.
No, I totally understand how he got to that spot. It's not a great spot to be, but the question is DTR better than any of those 3 in your opinion for fantasy?
I think if he's going to be your third quarterback, then I go for it. I go for upside. This team is 6-3. They've got weapons. I say,
who would you drop out of Levis, Pickett, Minshew?
Probably Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett stinks, dude. I'm sorry. I honestly, man, I'm sorry, but like, I feel like I've seen enough of some guys like Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, honestly, Daniel Jones at this point. Like, what is the weekly upside for Kenny Pickett? Maybe he throws 2 touchdowns and has a QB sneak. He's playing the Browns this week, the best defense in the league by far. So you're not going to start him this week. I mean, you might as well just see what this kid can do.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Now we're talking trades today, but listen, we understand some of you in leagues, your trade deadline is passed, and if that is the case, we're still going to serve it up for us. Like it's a la carte, whatever you want. You got a trade question, great. We'd love to see that. If you've got a waiver question because waivers runs tonight, you might as well do that too. And if you got a Thursday night football kind of a start sit situation, there's something.
If you're choosing between 2 different things for dinner, I mean, we're opening it up to you guys.
Oh yeah, dude, I would love to make dinner choices tonight because my dinners are like horrible right now.
I know you're doing the diet. For me, my wife found out because we just had the kid that the baby has like a dairy allergy, which is apparently temporary. That it's not like forever, but she can't have. How many buttons are on your sounder? How do you have all these ready to go? Like out of control. But yeah, no. So she can't have milk. She can't have cheese. And here's the thing, man, is that like I know I'm technically allowed to have cheese, but that's really not how it works, right?
Oh, you got to show the support. You got to support your daughter, and it's a dairy-free house, which absolutely sucks.
Yeah, my wife comes out.
Enjoy your sorbet.
I'm gonna take the dog out, and like I go out back, and she looks out the window, and I'm just like hiding near the trash cans, just like eating the cheese stick, just like
soaking cookies into like a little puddle of milk.
Milk. I come back in with like cookies and milk all of my mustache. And I'm just like,
you're like, let me take the baby.
Dog got away. I had to chase it fell into this milk puddle. Happens all the time.
Fatty McFat asks already, tacos or burgers? I'm a taco guy. I love tacos. I don't know what it is. I've spent my entire life, like for the most part, my early childhood and everything like that, we never did like, unless I went over to somebody's house and had tacos over there because I grew up in a very Dominican, Puerto Rican neighborhood. But like, so I love tacos so much. I dig burgers, but dude, tacos, that's just where it's at.
Yeah, and I am a burger man, always have been, but as of late, I've adopted the policy of like, especially when I go out to dinner, I try and do things that I can't make at home. So I stopped really getting burgers anywhere, and I've embraced getting like crazy tacos and stuff. So yeah, I think we're gonna doing shrimp tacos here tonight. So yeah, I'm on the taco wagon.
Yum.
There it is, taco wagon, baby. Let's go. Taco night.
Back to business, though. Dustin Poole says trade Cooper for Adams. If that's Amari Cooper, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what other Cooper there would be. I would definitely trade him for Devontae Adams right now.
Right, exactly. The big difference maker was that one of them had a good quarterback and the other one didn't. Now they both have bad quarterbacks, so just give me Devontae Adams.
So yeah, give me the better player. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe Aiden O'Connell works out and, something actually happens there. So I would definitely do that. RR in here, help. Oh, hello, help. See, again, it's the old man stuff here. Brian Burns, God, cue it. Yeah.
The one
Hey,
time
everybody, an old man's talking.
Thank you
there
so
it
much.
is, dude.
So you know what? Actually, yeah. All right, let's just get to this question here, because then I've got a funny Monday Night Football story for you. In a trade, I'm receiving Diggs and Pacheco, and I'm giving up Amon-Ra and Rashad White. Standard, no PPR. Good trade. Getting Diggs and Pacheco, giving up Amon-Ra and White in a standard league.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the thing is, Amon-Ra, typically he's not as good in standard, but he has been so consistent this year. He's essentially every game either had 100 yards or a touchdown. His worst game that he's had, he had like 50 yards and a touchdown. He also had like an oblique strain. So like Amon-Ra is a guy that I was completely wrong on. I was out on him. I apologize to anyone that traded him away because he's good and just straight up good. I think I would probably just stick with Amon-Ra and Rashad White. I think I would.
All right, there you go. Oh, Chris Alvis says, I rarely get anything to myself. I'm willing to cook.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to marriage, boys. You signed your lives away already. You please.
Oh, no. He's saying, he's agreeing with me that he says, I rarely get anything I'm myself am willing to cook. So he's with me when he goes out to restaurants. If he can cook it, he's not ordering it. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
All right, I got you.
But both things do apply.
Both
right?
both do apply. No doubt.
Right.
Who's that? Birdie's in the house. Thoughts of a possible tight end sleeper upside stash for Coop? Lucas Krull. 15 routes on 20 snaps last week. High praise from Sean Payton in an article yesterday. I'm not convinced by Dulcich. I don't think anybody's convinced by Dulcich.
Right. So the guy, Lucas Krull, I did look into this a little bit because he was activated from the practice squad and actually played last week, ran some routes, got some looks. And Adam Trotman is not like they planned all along to have Dulcich as a pass catching guy, and they loaded up on these other guys, the Adam Trotmans and the Michael Pruitts of the world. Or no, sorry, not Michael Pruitt, Chris Manhertz, but I mean, same thing, right? So they've got all these.
They're all pretty interchangeable.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So they've got all these blocking tight ends, and they're missing that aspect. So we talked about it where they lost Tim Patrick, they lost Dulcich. So if Dulcich is done for the year and it's starting to look like it, then Lucas Krull DFS play, I'd put him in the same category as maybe a Tanner Hudson right now, where it's like, hey, DFS, if he's going to be free, all we need is 3 receptions, right? When you're 3,000 on DraftKings, 3 receptions for any amount of yards or a touchdown is all you need to be worth the value.
Yeah. I like it. I'll look into it for DFS. We'll see. Oh no, you know what? They're not on the main slate. How about that for a showdown? How about a showdown lineup right there for Minnesota, Detroit, Minnesota, Denver? I mean,
I bet he'll be $200, Howard.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Ooh. There's another yum.
Let me take a look first. I'll take a peek at that while you hit some else.
That'll be $5,000.
So Freddie Ramirez says, how's it going, guys? Would you rather do Brees and Tyreek for AJ Brown and ETN? Brees and Tyreek for AJ Brown and ETN, or Tyreek and JT for Eckler and CD? He's focused on the playoffs, and he's also got a lot of fun names to say and kind of like abbreviate there too.
Yeah. Freddie came in. We got this question from Freddie last show where we said we would do Brees and Tyreek for AJ Brown and ETN. So we've already on board with that trade.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board with that.
The question
Tyreek
is
and JT for Eckler and CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb has been so good, dude.
He's really been good. I've just, you know what it is, man? I mean, I guess I'm not really.
Eckler's been okay.
Eckler has been okay. He has been. Absolutely. Not huge. Jonathan Taylor just kind of getting started in an offense that features him.
Tyreek's playoff schedule is actually terrible.
I know. Miami has a horrible down the stretch schedule. I know.
Yeah, so I think I'm down for either trade, to be honest. The one I think I prefer would be the one where you get AJ Brown and ETN. I think they're just both.
The first one is the one I prefer also.
Right. They're both locked in, man. They're both so locked into top 5.
Mm-hmm. And Brees is so like predictably on his way down. The Jets are never turning anything around. I don't know why anybody even remotely thinks that might be the case.
Right, dude. And it's like anytime Trevor Simeon's name comes up and the coach says, I don't know, like that is not good. That's not a good situation, man.
It's my quarterback.
Dude, the bulk of that situation, I'm probably gonna share more on this tomorrow on Getting Buzzed, because I have the time and the platform to just do that. And just talk about the fact that Aaron Rodgers is never coming, he's never coming back this year. He's the only reason that he's saying that mid-December or anything like that is to save Nathaniel Hackett's job, because there's no way the Jets fire Hackett if there's a possibility of Rodgers coming back. And I'm sure Rodgers has said that. I'm making my way to come back this year, guys, but Hackett's my guy. And unfortunately, that's the situation that the Jets are tethered to. So, we know Trevor Simeon is garbage. I don't want him. Saleh doesn't want him. Saleh would rather just see if we can get something more out of Zach Wilson,
And I don't hate I tell you what, I don't hate watching Zach Wilson play football. It's entertaining. You know what I mean?
No, it's horrible to watch.
No, it's entertaining to me. I mean, I like watching guys that don't give up. Like, he doesn't give up. He fails often, but he never gives up. He's always running around, scrambling around. The line hasn't been great. Like, at least he's doing something. Like, when I watch my team, Howard, that's watching somebody give up. Dude. That's watching Mac Jones just doesn't seem he's checked out. Has never extended a play in his life, dude. Getting screamed at after every drive by the offense coordinator. That is at least
somebody. I don't know who tweeted it out. It was really, really good. It was Mac Jones sitting there getting yelled at. Like, Belichick is standing there, like, looking out at the field, and whoever the assistant coach is sitting there yelling at Mac Jones, like, and
in
he's
his
just
face.
Kind of like, and he's sitting there and he's like, whatever. And somebody captioned it, when you don't hold the flashlight in the right spot for your dad.
Dude, oh my God.
That's the best,
I know the exact video because it's Bill O'Brien just dogging him, dude.
Oh, dude, I was absolutely dying. Just the comment right there. And anybody who's like worked on a project with their very frustrated dad is that was too much. All right. Before we get back to the chat and the news and everything else that we've got going on over there was one thing that I wanted to show you. So, everybody's going bonkers for Monday Night Football already. And the big question is, will Taylor Swift be there? She's got a show in Brazil right before. She's got a show in Brazil right afterwards. Does she private jet it up to Kansas City for that? And so, how that's all like gone into like crazy stuff and, all the rumors and everything like that's going around. So here you go. So I used a child generator for everybody here, Coop, right? I wanted you to see this. This is if you want to see what Travis and Taylor's kids would look like, I think you would really dig this. It's pretty damn good. This is what my baby generator came up with here. Where is it? Come on, share, baby. Has it shared yet? Here it comes. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
So if Taylor and Travis Kelce had a baby, it would look like this. I mean, look at you. Gotta love the little bow tie and the vest and everything like that. That's total like Taylor Swift, like one of her outfits from tour, right? And then just look at that face. Look at that mug.
Look at the cute. Look at the twinkle.
Smack you in the mouth.
Look at the twinkle in the eye there. Look at that darling angel child. Is that it kind of reminds me of somebody we know, actually.
It does kind of remind me of somebody we know. Oh, what? No.
I love and respect Brian Burns.
Bring that back right now, young man. Ladies and gentlemen, the cutest baby in the world also knew sports was going to be a big part of his life, right? I mean, we know he's an A's fan, absolutely, right? When did that transition happen? Because apparently here it started when Brian Burns was a young lad as a Dodger fan, but then then there's then all of a sudden here somewhere doing his little league glam shots at the mall, he's got his A's kind of thing. So somewhere between this and this, Brian Burns suddenly became an A's fan.
Yeah. To those that have not caught on yet, these are all pictures. They're not AI generated Kelseys and Swifts. These are pictures of producer Brian Burns. How'd you get your hands on these, Howard?
Why? You know what? Listen, because when you're sitting there, what you want to do is, if you got to get back at somebody who puts like the butt fumble into the opening of a show, right?
How
like,
dare you?
in there. Right? Yeah, there he is.
There's
right?
Burns. Burns. Right? Okay. Well, we got you here. I got to ask some questions about this particular fit right here. Are those actual Reebok pumps? Is your hand on the actual pump of a Reebok pump in this picture?
Yeah, I was pumping it up.
Okay.
Pumping them up, dude.
Listen,
like D Brown at the dunk contest, dude. Getting pumped up, dude.
He's got, listen, it's competitive spirit. He's pumping it up. He's getting ready for the game. Fix your hat a little bit there. But
the hat is exactly right. Was the hat that was Burns? Was that was the hat exactly how it was supposed to be?
Yeah, that's some Bay Area stuff right there.
That's some Bay Area stuff right there. Did you know that? So Brian, besides being a wonderfully handsome and an adorable little leaguer, right, his entire life, was also very talented and could very well have like won pageants. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe a Christmas pageant.
Oh, Jesus.
That is something, dude. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that you were I didn't know you grew up as a Beaver.
It's going to be a awkward Thanksgiving dinner with Mama Burns and I.
What I love though is that bold enough to wear the bow tie. Bold enough at very young ages to wear the bow tie, which is probably why you've got the crown. But I think for me, Coop, the winner here is the cape, with the feather boa thing on it.
That's a really strong look right there. I mean,
well,
it's a really regal look.
You can tell when you've arrived in life when you walk onto a stage and someone decapes you.
They took you down, dude. Oh, they held it and they said,
someone removes your cape when you come into the room.
A little hail to the chief playing, right?
Right. Very good.
Look, I have another picture that I was sent of Burns as a kid here.
We get those side by side. Oh yeah, there's that's
there we go.
Good. That's pretty good. So you cost your parents. Not only did he cost his parents like massive orthodonture bills, right? But then he went on to a budding ice hockey career here, Coop. And here we go. Famous around the Bay Area because Brian Burns channeling his inner, I don't know, Billy Smith from the Islanders, a notorious slasher. So bad that here you go. They've like put everything out. We got the box score right here. We've got the whole kit and caboodle.
Wow, dude. With a label right on there, the slasher. You were slashing people as a goalie? You're chopping people down.
Kind of cheap though, Brian, isn't it?
Yeah, when they're standing in the crease, you got to hack them in the back of the leg a little bit.
Oh, they were giving you they were doing a little Sean Avery, and you were just protecting the crease, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he was slashing them because everybody was making fun of the fact that he couldn't match his socks.
Oh no, dude!
How many pictures did she send you?
What? I'll tell you with the sock issue.
Lori and I are like boom. We love each other.
If you pull up the baseball one again, it seems pretty clear that the socks were a problem, and your mom definitely arranged your socks so that that logo would be facing the camera. No question that she came in there and schooled you up real
twisted around those curved lines there on the.
You wanted to make sure everybody knew that that outfit was fully head to actual toe fully matched. So yeah, the socks weren't an issue at that age. It was only later that you rebelled against the sock issue.
I tell you, Brian Burns through the years, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Burns through the years. Definitely shout that out to my wonderful friend Lori, Brian Burns' mom, who was so kind enough to send those along to me.
How
you feeling now, Bri? He's like, he turned off his mic. He was like, I pushed the other stupid button so you can't hear me now. He's calling his mom. Is that the Pope's getup?
I'm calling my mom and Auntie Coop and tell them not to respond to any of your.
Let's fire you and burn down your friggin' house.
I had Franklin Pumps from Hal.
The Pumps, dude. Burns is majestic in the chat, dude. Yeah,
phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. All right, back to business here. Underdog, our friends over at Underdog, want to shout it out there as always. Underdog Fantasy does an amazing job. Hit that QR code right there, guys. All right, or if you don't zap the QR code, go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use the promo code ALARM. You'll get an instant match deposit up to $100. Joe Burrow for Thursday Night Football is their little gimme pick. It's their featured one. More than half a yard. Higher than half a yard, is where you want to go. So, Coop and I gave you a couple of picks yesterday. We're going to give you another couple. If you want to catch those, just go look at yesterday's episode. We're going to give you two more today to just kind of help you along. Maybe, you 5-leg this pick'em contest for yourself with yesterday's and today's. Coop, where are you going today?
Yeah. So for me, I last week did not take your advice, Howard. I was saying, hey, I'm a little worried about the game script for Cowboys players. I'm going to maybe fade like a little Jake Ferguson, some of these guys on the narrative that it would be a blowout and, they wouldn't run up the score. And you said to me, before you can bench guys, you actually do have to score the points first, right?
Yeah.
And the first half of these games can be so bad that it doesn't matter. And sure enough, in that Cowboys-Giants game, Dak threw for 400 yards, threw for 4 touchdowns, ran for another, and they still benched him at a certain point, but the points had to be scored first. So I look at Sam Howell, right? And this is a guy who over the last 3 weeks has thrown for 312 yards, 325 yards, 397 yards. He has a bunch of games this season with 290, 299, 388. I go in there and I look at what they're saying, and I think they're thinking, oh, you know what? It's going to be a blowout. They're not going to throw much. They have him set at 255.5. I'm looking at what Dak Prescott did throwing for 400, and the fact that Sam Howell is throwing for 300 3 times in a row, and I'm saying, I think Sam Howell is just going to come out and chuck all over this team. And if they got to bench him in the fourth quarter for the backup, then fine. But Sam Howell at 255.5, I'm going to go higher on that. I think this is going to be another game where it's just huck it, chuck it all over the Giants.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up seeing for sure. He's definitely, the consistency, the dude's throwing it 40 times a game. I do find it could be a little intriguing that if they just really go run heavy, and you see so much, like all of a sudden Antonio Gibson gets like 15 carries, like, something crazy bonkers like that. But I think that this is their style and this is what they want to do. And so maybe in the second half, like you said, maybe they'll take their foot off the gas there and run the ball. But yeah, Sam Howell to Terry McLaurin. I love that matchup against the Giants for sure. Curtis Samuel out of the slot. I think that's going to win as well. So I love that pick here, Sam Howell. For me, here you go. I'm going to go against the grain. Derrick Henry, 64.5 rushing yards. I'm saying lower for Derrick Henry. Very tough defense, run defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're giving up like fewer than 80 rushing yards per game. Not a lot of touchdowns as well. Everybody's kind of realizing that to beat the Jaguars, you just take it to the air. Their secondary is struggling. Their linebackers are struggling when they have to fall into coverage. They're great run stoppers, but the other way it doesn't work. So I'm going to look at this and say, listen, Derrick Henry's just not Derrick Henry of old, and I haven't seen him rip off some big ass rushing yardage attack that it's like dominant. So I think it's working against him here. So 64.5 rushing yards. I'm going to say lower. I think Will Levis still tries to sling the rock.
Right. And the teams that have the running backs have had success against the Jaguars, they've done it by passing the football. The Jaguars are letting up 7.5 receptions to the running back this year. The next highest team letting up 6.8, which is the Chargers. So that's how you get it done versus them. But they have a different player that comes in for those plays in Tajay Spears. So John and Pem and I talked about it the show before on Quick Outs that we kind of like Tajay Spears at his price in DFS. But for this one, yeah, I'm with you. I think this is one of those Derrick Henry stay away games because he only does well when they're playing from ahead and they're 6.5 point dogs.
What I want to see about that game, and I'm have to just look into, I have to look and see how much man coverage Tennessee is running right now with all of their, the injuries that they've been dealing with. Are you going to pull that up for me right now?
Yep, I got it.
I'm just kind of curious because we know that Trevor Lawrence thrives against zone coverage. He doesn't do as well when the receivers are in man coverage. So, because I'm kind of curious about that. I think that's that because of the personnel there for Tennessee, I think I'm just going to do one GPP stack of just Trevor Lawrence with what's his face with like Kirk and Ridley or with like Kirk and Engram, and then just have Tajay Spears possibly be the guy coming back against that stack. Right, not have to pay as much for Derrick Henry to get him in there, but see what happens with Tajay Spears. Might be a little wacky there. I mean, really, you need Jacksonville to really pop against Tennessee in order for it to like work. The comeback is the interesting part.
Right. Yeah, and I've got this loading up 1 second, but yeah, the thing is, Evan Engram, man, he's been so solid in PPR, but he's just not finding the end zone, dude. I was telling John, I asked Ani Coop asked me what I want for Christmas, and I said Evan Engram touchdown. She said it was out of her. she said it was out of her price range though. But so yeah, I got the numbers up here for zone snaps. It looks like they're playing zone.
What side are you on?
Pro Football Focus.
So yeah, I just want to make sure we give them a shout.
Yeah, give them a shout. So according to
we dive into some of their stats, we don't have these stats on Fantasy Alarm, so we have to find them for you.
Got to share them when we got them. So yeah, so it looks like the top corners are lining up in zone for about 63% of the time, which you would think is kind of high, but the reality is it's kind of a zone league, so that's probably towards the middle of the pack. The fact that they do play man like 40% of the time, not too bad.
Not too bad. And now the question is with the personnel changes that they've had to make over the last couple of weeks with the injuries and stuff, are they relying more on zone than on man because of the quality of cornerback? Like that's something that I'm still diving into right now. But nevertheless, that's just,
Well, you want me to check it out? I could do like last 3 weeks.
Go ahead. Do me last 3 weeks.
Why don't we just we got the information at our fingertips here. So why don't we figure that out? So it looks like last 3 weeks, they have definitely, hey, look at you, Howard Bender. You didn't even have to look it up and you knew the narrative. They have been leaning more into zone. In fact, Sean Murphy Bunting, his snaps, 77% of those have been in zone. The other guys about 70% or so. And well, that makes sense because, when you go goal line and everyone's locked down, then some of the other guys probably play more man. But yeah, so now usually closer to 60, now closer to 70. So definitely skewing a little more zone than usual.
Yeah. And now with Murphy Bunting banged up also, he missed last week.
Right. Yeah, so
questionable for this week. Christian Fulton in man coverage? No, I mean that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm kind of looking at that one in such a way. Let me go back to the chat here because we do have some trade talk going on here. Hal's in the room. What's up, Hal? He says he can't get squad for Barkley. Only offer is Najee and Quentin Johnson. I have tried packaging him up with Rashee Rice. People are very leery about that. Except for this one guy who just traded Breece Hall straight up for Saquon Barkley. Like he offered Hall for somebody else and was turned down, and they countered with Barkley and he accepted, which I was like,
I don't know.
I did that Michael Scott, like, cringe face.
Right. It's like, that's diving to catch a falling knife. I feel like I don't know if I would want. I don't know if I want to catch that one right now. I think the Giants are getting real close to packing up the circus here and fighting for that top pick. You know.
Yeah.
So pretty ugly. Big game versus the Patriots coming up in a couple weeks. Next week, I think they're saying worst game of all time. That's what they're saying.
Caleb Williams Bowl. We can't wait.
We gotta lose that game. Come on.
DM7819 says I've got Adams, Kirk, Jacobs, and Barkley as my starters. Deebo Samuel in the flex. Am I good with them in the rest of the season, or should I try and package a trade with bench guys to boost my team? If so, who to target? Full PPR. All right. So here's my philosophy. All right. At this stage of the game right now, going into week 11, there are 3 weeks left in the playoffs. If you think that you're making the playoffs, if you're already, at the top part of your standings, or if you feel really comfortable being on the bubble, so to speak, but you got a lot of points or anything like that, what I do at this point in time of the year is I do consolidation trades. I don't care about my depth. I want a team right now that is going to make that push through the playoffs and win. So I don't want to make lineup decisions. I will trade like starters and a bench guy, a decent bench dude, to somebody trying to make the playoffs in order to get their no-brainer starter. And that's what I want. I want a no-brainer QB. 2 no-brainer running backs, 3 no-brainer wide receivers. If I want to play the matchups with my flex spot, then so be it. If I want to think about juggling for a tight end, fine. But those top 6 positions right there, those are locked in. I don't want to touch them for the rest of the season, right? Those are the guys that you go out there and get. And then when you deplete all of your bench guys for making these moves, then that's when you just go to the waiver wire and then hit up all of these guys who are fringe roster dudes, because you don't know. You get yourself some Rondell Moore, you get yourself a Michael Wilson, you add in a Tajay Spears if you're playing in a shallow league and he's still somewhat available. To me, that's how I am arranging all of my trade deadline stuff here. I'm just giving stuff to people for no-brainer guys. That's my move.
Yep. And, use bye weeks to your advantage. I know this week's not a great example because, there's, Bijan's on bye. You can go for him or Alvin Kamara, but go to the guy who has Mark Andrews. If that guy's not locked into the playoffs, be like, hey, just a heads up that you're going to be missing your guy here. Justin Jefferson, in a couple of weeks, you're going to have a bye week. You're going to be missing this guy. You can't afford to lose any games. I'll lose that week. I'll take this guy. You can't afford to lose this week with Kamara. I'll take him off your hands and help you win this week so your team doesn't get eliminated. Those moves, it's not like a predatory move because you're helping that person win, right? If that person loses this week with Kamara on their bench, then it doesn't matter for them. So definitely start making those trades, start consolidating, and try to set your team up to be an absolute juggernaut, man, because we forget how it doesn't stop being fantasy football when the playoffs come. Right? You got to have as many amazing players as possible, because just lose 1 week and you're done.
That's the way we do it. That's how we're handling the trades. I mean, listen, that's just, for me, that's my strategy, because I hate the lineup decisions. You guys should hate the lineup decisions. You want to build that roster. So it's whatever. Yeah. I don't even need to look. I don't even need to make that move. So back to the Q&A here. Dynasty, I can get DK for Mixon. Leaves me with Brees, Swift, and Javonte.
I mean, I think that as far as it sets you up better for the long term, because DK Metcalf has more years left for sure than Mixon. If you're making your lineup better now and long term, then it makes all the sense in the world. My concern is too many times I see people try to get too cute and they think, oh, my team's so good, I'm going to win this year. I can also make my team slightly worse this year, and then I'll be better for the long term. I hate those moves. But a move like this, if it's making your lineup better, I like it.
All right. Hal says he was thinking about packaging up Barkley and Puka. Not sure what to shoot for. Ford and Javante, Chandler, Gainwell, Rico, and Eli Mitchell at running back. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a flex, Adams and Olave, Puka, Rice, Downs, and Palmer. I mean, Barkley and Puka to,
Yeah, first off, look around your league and find the guy who knows the least about what's going on. Right?
Right? It's like maybe he doesn't know that the bottom is falling out for the Giants, or that Matthew Stafford's got a major
is hanging off. Yeah, exactly. Find that guy first, and then see what he'll give you. I think that's what I would do with those 2 players, buddy.
Which side would you rather have on this one here? Josh Allen and Pollard, or Herbert and Olave?
So again, it depends how it affects your lineup. But at face value, I think I would rather have Josh Allen and Pollard. Even though Jameis Winston is such a good boost for Olave, I feel like it's so hard to find running backs that play every snap, man. Even when Pollard is like, last week was bad, but again, game got out of hand. They threw Rico Dowdle in there. For the most part, Pollard's getting 50 yards, catching a couple passes, either scores or doesn't. I think I'm going Allen and Pollard. What do you think, Howard?
I mean, again, obviously it does depend. I mean, if you have like 3 solid running backs, and I mean, like, you don't have to be complete world beaters, but like at least 2 of those 3 are like the primary guy in their offense, like guys that that you're starting on the regular. If you still have that after not having Pollard, then yes, right. then I would be fine with making that move. But yeah, I'm with you here. I mean, Allen and Herbert they're not going to suck forever. I would rather just go with the guy who is just going to be hucking and chucking all over the place, and that's Herbert, right? He's going to be doing it.
Yeah. So to Howard's point, then, if you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, do I start Pollard this week? Do I not? And if you had Chris Olave, he would 100% be in your lineup regardless, then do it, But again, it's like if Olave is just going to be in the same spot as Pollard where you're saying, do I start him at the flex? Do I not? Then I think I just keep the running back.
All right. Derek's in a 10-team half-point PPR, 2 flexes. He's 8-2, trying to trade for Josh Allen. Owner is in a must-win situation, needs help at wide receiver. Derek's got himself Tua, Howell, Kyler, Lamb, Olave, Higgins, Hollywood, and Dell.
So 2 QB league then?
I'm going to assume it's a 2 QB league.
How many QB ones do you need, mate?
Does the Kyler Hollywood tandem, Coop, does that get you Josh Allen?
Kyler and Hollywood. Yeah, that's the trade.
I'm just, he's like, any thoughts on who to package to get?
I think I would do that. Yeah, I think I would do Kyler and either Hollywood or Dell to do it, or honestly Howell and Hollywood or Dell. I mean, the thing is with Tua, he has that terrible schedule. So, but I wouldn't trade Tua and one of those guys for Josh Allen, because Josh Allen's
got a bad schedule too. He still has Dallas, he still has the Jets
this week. Yeah,
right. He's got Philadelphia still coming up also.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would want to do that. Like, knowing that Tua, your primary QB, is, got a terrible schedule here. I mean, Howell and Kyler, if push comes to shove in a tough situation, I would probably rather do that than wonder about Josh Allen.
Yeah, I would just stick with what you got. Don't help that kid.
Don't help him. Screw him. Forget it. Oh, Hal is enjoying all the Brian Burns photos. You guys respond in the chat here if you want to see those again, because he is quite handsome.
The crown one. Burns, I still need to know why. Did he say why he was wearing that? It was a play? It had to be a play, right?
No. He won. He was in a pageant. He
came in. That's wow.
He came in first, actually. Let me pull up the email here.
Look, when you're this attractive, people put crowns.
Well, obviously, they just come up. Some guy on the street was just like, "Wow, that's a cute kid.
Let me crown you.
Let me crown this child." I mean, dude, honestly, with those pictures, man, Don't doubt it.
Entered him in a baby contest, win all 3 categories. So there it is, man. Obviously, the crown and the cape were like, congratulations, you are the cutest baby in the world.
The 3 categories were cutest baby, best socks, and biggest front teeth. Those are the 3 categories he swept in.
What's that?
It was biggest something, but it wasn't teeth.
I said the 3 categories were cutest kid, best socks, and biggest front teeth. He said it was biggest something. He can't tell us. That's good, dude. That's good. The crown, dude.
All right. Bertie wants to know, with Michael Thomas, Derek Carr potentially out multiple weeks, would you prefer A.T. Perry or Christian Watson as a bench piece rest of the season? I mean, I kind of like A.T. Perry. I'm not going to lie.
I like the idea, but I mean,
I definitely like the idea more than yes. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's like, what is that movie with the role models? He's like, I like the idea of Coca-Cola more than I like it. You know, like I think like with A.T. Perry, he's going to be in the Michael Thomas role, but they still have Olave. They still have Shaheed. I think I trust Watson to turn it around more than I do Perry to become a focal point. I think I'd stick with Watson. I know. It's lame. It's boring.
Jonathan Santiago here says he's got an open slot. Should I pick up Rico Dowdle or Pop Douglas? My wide receivers are Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Tank Dell. Running backs are Walker, Monty, Jones, and Charbonnet. I think you've answered your own question there and said Rico Dowdle.
You think so?
I would rather, if he's really...
He's never going to start Pop Douglas. You're right. He's never going to start. I love Pop Douglas, and you're never going to start Pop over those guys.
And what everybody's talking about right now, and stuff that I've been reading about, is the fact that one of the big issues that that Dallas is having is that they've realized that, you know, the role that Zeke played last year, they've tried giving Pollard the full load, but he hasn't been able to deliver with that. And now all of a sudden here, as the season's waning on, they're using Dowdle more and more as like it's not just the blowouts. It's more of like hey, here's a little 1-2 punch right now, like we had with Zeke.
Yeah. And we've actually seen this before with teams, especially the better the team, the more wins the team gets, right? And the more likely it is they'll make the playoffs. We've seen teams do this towards the end of the season, notably the Bills that one year when they had everything like wrapped up, they stopped using Josh Allen and started just being like, let's lean on Devin Singletary and see if we can keep our guys healthy, you know? And like, so maybe the more they win, the more we probably will see Dowdle.
It's kind of where I'm leaning. That's why I would do it. I would do that over Pop Douglas. I mean, who's quarterbacking in that offense? What's the situation going to be? Is it really, you know, are you just going to, you know, I think you're banking on garbage time.
Right. Malik Cunningham. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. Who should I get by trading Kenneth Walker? Need another running back with better playoff schedule. Well, see, that's the thing. It's like
you got to pair up.
Yeah, you have to pair it up. You can't just if you're looking at his schedule and you're looking at his situation with Zach Charbonnet, so's everybody else.
Right.
Like unless you've got a complete rube in your league that doesn't understand what's going on, like that's where you have to go. So you have to be creative with your trades. So you have to pair up Kenneth Walker and a wide receiver for a better running back. Like you have to offer something else. You're never going to get it done in a 1-for-1. I mean,
what I would do right now is go and look at the teams that have Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, and Alvin Kamara, and look at what their lineup looks like this week. Look and see if they are in must-win situation, and then go to those guys and say, hey, you know what? I'll give you Kenneth Walker straight up for Jonathan Taylor, because if you lose this week, your season's over. You can't just sit there and wait for these guys, and those guys are all on bye weeks, right? So maybe I'd do something like that.
Okay. Jacob Anders says 1 QB league. He's got Tua and Kyler. He's got 2 offers on the table for Kyler Murray right now. One is Jerome Ford. The other one is Waddle. Ick. I mean, I kind of think that with the fact that we are concerned about Tua's upcoming schedule, that maybe having Kyler Murray sitting on your bench ain't such a bad thing right now.
Yeah, I don't even know. dude, I don't even know if you do start Jerome Ford in that situation. And Waddle's got dealing with a back issue. So I think you're better off just hanging tight. And Waddle's got the same schedule problems as Tua.
Yep. Rod Elliott's in the house. Dynasty Superflex QBs are Lawrence and Goff. I've got 3 first-rounders rebuilding. Would you trade Goff or Lawrence and a late first for Kupp and Watson? So, I mean, it's Christian Watson and not Deshaun Watson.
If you're rebuilding, why are you trading for Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
I think I definitely keep Trevor Lawrence. If you want to trade Goff if you want to do a trade that involves Goff and a first, I would consider Goff and a first for that. I mean, Goff is getting up there in age. Watson's still pretty young, man. I think he's not just going to go away. He's not just going to go away. What is he, like 27? Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, but I'm not looking at him. I don't think he wants to play football, dude.
Maybe not.
Shoulder surgery again now. I mean, this is like, I mean, it's always been something with him since coming back to Cleveland. It was an ankle, and then he but I'll play on it, right? I mean, I think there's just this is going to be a very, very bad situation. I think this was a huge mistake by the Cleveland Browns, and they, and all of that guaranteed money. I mean, they're going to eat so much of that. I mean, I don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to be like when he comes back from shoulder surgery.
Could be Chad Penningtoned up, and honestly, I didn't realize. I thought Goff was older. Goff is 29, so I would just stick with Goff and Lawrence, man. If you're rebuilding, then you want to have young quarterbacks.
Yeah. Got offered Tony Pollard and DJ Moore for CeeDee Lamb. My running backs are Walker, Barkley. Would you take it? No, you're not. I'm not gonna swap out CeeDee Lamb from my roster in order to decide between Pollard and Barkley.
Yeah, don't do it. Keep CeeDee Lamb. He's a beast.
Yeah, definitely. I've got Kincaid as my only tight end. Am I good at the tight end position, or should I look to grab someone else because Knox is coming back?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Knox is coming back, and also the Bills have a bye week in like the week after next. So you're going to need somebody anyway. So I would definitely, with Knox and McBride and also Dalton Schultz because of his schedule, those guys still live in the land of you should be rostering too. Because, I mean, you're going to need to, whatever you're using that bench spot on, you're just going to have to drop somebody in week 13 anyway. And here's why I'm doing it now on top of that is it's not just Kincaid that has bye week 13. It's Mark Andrews. It's Cole Kmet. It's TJ Hawkinson. The very next week, Trey McBride goes on waivers. So he goes on bye. So there's going to be a lot of Trey McBride folks out there that think they can just wait and fill in their lineup with a tight end. And all these tight ends are going to get picked up and they're probably not going to get dropped. So right now I go out and I add the best tight end before the Mark Andrews and the Hawkinson guys realize what's about to happen.
All right. Grumpy Sports Fan wants to know, what do you think of Chase the rest of the season? He's a stud. He's a no-brainer number 1 wide receiver.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's super awesome.
That's it.
Water from my situation before. I'm 7-3 with Herbert, running back Swift. Still lean trading for Allen and Pollard.
Oh, that's the Allen and Pollard trade.
Yeah. Herbert, Swift, B-Rob, Kyron on IR, Tajay, Algier. He's got Chase, AJ Brown.
Yeah, I think
Nico Collins, Olave.
Who was the wide receiver? He was giving away Olave as part of it.
Yeah.
I think I do that, man. I mean, like, yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Getting the thumbs up there, Water. We're running out of time here. Look at that. All right, let's try and get through here. Who could I get with a package of Dell Kincaid or Hollywood Kincaid? Need a solid wide receiver too. My only other receivers are Diggs and Ayuk. I already have Hawkinson.
I mean, with both those are both hot names. Like all 3 of those names are hot, dude. So you can go out and try to get somebody that's pretty squarely in the wide receiver 2 category. I don't know. Do you think? I don't think Deontay Johnson's enough of an upgrade.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, if you're giving up those 2 guys and Kincaid, giving them that, then you have to be looking at that like secondary tier.
Yeah. Can you get like Mike Evans? Mike Evans.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better name.
Mike Evans. I don't know. I don't know if I would even go for like DK Metcalf or Devonta Smith. I think go big, man. Go for Keenan Allen. See if they would never give you him, but
They
go
would
for
never do that. But like a DK Metcalf is Mike Evans, like that range. I would definitely look in that range.
Michael Pittman, maybe.
Yeah,
reliable.
How do you feel about Dontavian Wicks in Dynasty?
His snaps are directly tied to Christian Watson being banged up. So I don't think I really love Dontavian Wicks. Yeah. Very. I mean, really deep league. Really deep leagues. Everyone's rostered, so it's not crazy. But I mean, it's like, I don't know. Watson, Reed, Dobbs. You really need Watson to fail so badly that Dontavian Wicks takes his job outright, and I just can't picture that happening.
All right, I think we got time for another one here. If we didn't get to yours, well, we're super apologetic. You can, find me on Lisa Ann Does Fantasy Better later on tonight at from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. You can get your questions in over there. It's all here at the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. So again, if we don't get to your questions, there are more shows that are following us up. I wouldn't ask a fantasy question on the betting show, but we've got enough fantasy shows that you guys will be able to find some space there. Here we go from Joshua Hidalgo. Do I trade Keenan Allen and Devon Achane for CMC and Nico Collins? 9-1, playoffs locked. Team is Lamar, Kyler, Amon-Ra, Jefferson, Douglas, Myers, Kamara, Monty Spears, Dowdle, and Kelsey. Well, you got all that. I don't really see the need. Why would you want to dump off Keenan Allen and Devon Achane right now? CMC and Nico? It's a strong downgrade for me at wide receiver. Like it's a big drop at wide receiver. Obviously, it's a good upgrade at running back.
Yeah. No, I think I'm just gonna stick with what you got, man.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
So there you go. That's going to do it for us here today. Again, apologize if we didn't get to your questions in chat. Subscribe to that Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. Hit that like and subscribe button so that you guys can stay tuned for all the shows. Me, Andrew Cooper, John Impemba, Britt Flynn, Kevin Tompkins, the whole gang. We're always here for you guys. So we will figure it all out tomorrow, I guess. We'll be back for Alarm Fantasy Football, answering all your lineup questions as well. So big thank you to Brian Burns, that handsome man. Big, huge shout out to your mom, Lori. She is the best. For Andrew Cooper, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.
Yes.
Brian Burns, he deserves